Hello, everyone. We're back. Café con Lourdes. We are here, and next to me, I have a special guest, a very good friend of mine for many, many years, Ahmed Rodriguez.
What's going on? How we doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm anxious. All that.
So let's talk.
You know what's crazy, Ahmed? I know you for so many years, and I still don't know where you're from. Like I know you tell me over and over again. I said, "What's your background? What's your every time?" And I don't know where you from.
My mother's Puerto Rican, Dominican, and Costa Rican. My father's Jamaican.
Jamaican.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yo soy un coco rico. So that's my background.
So are you familiar with all the cultures? from your
Yeah,
background?
very. Yeah. I'm a Harlem dude with the Brooklyn Browns. I'm raised between Marcy and Polo Grounds. However, I went to school all my life in the Bronx because both my parents were separated, and they said, "Hell no, you're not going to school here. You're going to go into the Bronx." So back in the days, you went to school in zones. So they had to put my address for Cedar Avenue in the Bronx. So I went to Kennedy, 143, 206B. Got in a lot of trouble. Sold drugs when I was little. Was in Spofford. I was in every
So
group
what's
home
little?
in the
What
city.
age is that?
Started selling drugs probably when I was like 12. So
So you were selling drugs at that age,
yeah.
and then you ended up.
Getting locked up, getting in trouble. Went to a place called Berkshire Farms. It's a non-secure detention for young men who's on the cusp of going. It's in Harlem Valley. It was on the island. And then, when I came home, I kind of turned my life around, wound up going to college. I went to SUNY Old Westbury.
How old were you?
When I went to college, I was probably in my 20s already.
What made you want to turn your life around?
A lot of interesting things happened to me. One of the things that happened was I was in the Bronx on Kingsbridge and, just hustling with everybody. And one day this kid, I guess I could say it now, wouldn't be snitching, a dude named Country. We looked alike. And the cops rolled up and it was a female cop. And he was coming out the store, and I was like right behind him as he's coming out the store, and we talking. And they rolled up on him like, "Yo, we got you." She's like, "Word." Boom, boom. And hits both of them and bolts down. So anybody from the Bronx know that Kingsbridge is like this, and then you gotta shoot down to go down to Marble Hill. So he bolted to Marble Hill. They couldn't catch him. This kid was too fast. Next day they picked me up, said I was him. But it's karma, right? I'm selling drugs. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So if you don't get caught now, you're going to get caught for something else. I'm going back and forth. And as I'm going back and forth to court, I've always just been a polite person. I was always very respectful.
Right.
The prosecuting attorney, I would always say good morning to, and she would look at me like I'm fucking crazy for saying good morning. Even the guy defending me was like, "Why are you even saying something to this lady?" Going back and forth. If you know about Spofford, I would have to go back and forth there. Spofford was in the Bronx. If you got in trouble, it didn't matter what borough you was from, everybody had to go there. So they had Brooklyn always had the biggest table. And then Harlem, the Bronx, everything. So I'm going back and forth. And comes the day that the cop comes, and we're in the elevator together. All he has to do is walk in the courtroom and say, "I sold to him." That's all he has to say. Especially back then, it's so corrupt, We're in the elevator, we go into the courtroom, he's not there. So I had one of those public defenders, and he's like, "Well, it's 60 days and they haven't produced anything. And by law, if you don't produce something, then I guess, I don't know if that's still the law now, case gets kicked." So she says, yes, he was called away to a case. He was not able to be here, but he's had to be there. So, but they said he had an investigation. He couldn't be there. But that was a lie because I knew I was in the elevator with this dude.
Oh, wow.
She comes to me and she says, "Just stay out of trouble." Everybody knows this lady to be like the ultimate asshole. Doesn't give a shit about nothing, doesn't cut deals, goes for the jugular on every case. Years later, I find out, I see the gentleman that represented me. I'm asked something, and we're just talking. He says, "I always wanted to tell you this, but I couldn't tell you then because you were so young," that she told the cop that I was just going to get probation. He didn't have to stay. And he could leave. Literally put her job on the line for me. Prior to that, I got caught up in Soundview. Some dudes with some guns. I'm in the car. They're gonna drop me home. I'm staying in Polo Grounds at the time, and we're in what they call in Soundview the Horseshoe. And they're like, yo, we drive. I'm like, it's freezing out that motherfucker. So I get in the car, we get pulled over. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Car's full of guns. Now everybody in the car ain't mine. I tell them, because my cousin tells me, yo, my cousin from Fort Greene, he always told me, he's like, yo, if you get locked up, just tell them that you 16, and then I'll come bail you out. Because if you tell me 15, they gonna have your parents. So naturally, I'm not wanting my parents to know, even though suspecting I'm hustling, doing whatever, but I want them to come get me. So I tell the cop, yeah, I'm 15. Takes me, locks me up. They put me on a bus to the island. I'm still staying quiet. And I'm like, yo, I guess this is the way it's supposed to go. In my mind, I go to the island, and then I'm going to get bailed out from the island. But it don't work like that. I don't know. So I get to the island. I'm also a 5% at the time. So I get there, got my flag on. So, I'm talking blah, 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 blah. And then I got into this big fight. So we get there. Attorney comes to talk to me. I'm talking to one of the guards, and I'm like, yeah, I told him my physical degree is this, blah, 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 blah. He said, now, Cypher guy, you got to tell him, you word is born. I said, yeah, I'm 15. Couple of days from my birthday. So he tells me, yo, tell the fucking lawyer, you're not supposed to be here, B. So now I got a lawsuit. They got a lawsuit because they were supposed to check.
Yeah.
But I'm also caught in the car with the guns.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we just, my parents had to get involved, everybody. So they rushed me the fuck out of there because I got into a fight. Got jumped. It was like 5 dudes. Then the guards come and help me after. But by then, I had already got jumped. I'm fighting. So they rushed me off, and they're trying to figure out. So we just reached a plea deal that everything would be sealed as long as I didn't get in trouble. I think it was like 7 or 8 years, whatever. If I don't get in trouble, if I did, then everything will reopen, and I'll be charged and all this. So I lucked out. So knowing that I had all these lucky strokes that happened, I wound up, getting in trouble again, but I wound up in a place called Berkshire Farms, which is like 30 miles from Albany. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's all boys. It's cottages, bunch of white people, some of them racist, some of them not. And I get my shit together. I come home, and then I realize I want to go to school because while I'm there, I get to visit a place called Williams College, which is 30 miles. I get there. And I ain't never seen no shit. I seen one kid that I know because he plays ball. He's from St. Nick. And he's like, yo, son. I'm looking, and the kids is all because I got in a special program where this dance program. I go in there, I saw all these women. So I was like, yeah, I want to sign up for because it's all boys. So I'm thirsty. It's like, yo, so I'm on a college campus. I see motherfuckers. He's like, yeah, I got my own room. I was like, yeah, but I don't play ball like that, man. I played ball when I was little gauchos, but I ain't really, I'm not like nice as he is. He's like, nah, man, if you go to school, they give you money. Get your own room, you get financial. He's telling me all this shit. I'm like, I get my own room. I can eat, do what I need to do. So I wound up, when I went home, I said, I'm gonna apply for college. But I was always smart. So I knew that college was expensive. So I asked for a voluntary placement to go back because if the state is your parent, then they have to foot the bill.
Right.
So I did that, and I wound up getting into school.
And you graduated?
I graduated. While I was there, I joined Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. See us in the steps, so blue and white, all that. I love my frat. And then I do my internship at Power. Did my internship at Hot for a little bit, but by then Power was starting to come because it was jamming 105.
Right.
Then they flipped to Power 105. Doc Winters, who is the person that flipped stations and all that, this time it was Clear Channel. So I'm there, running to Kurt Flirt, Moni Love, Ed. Everybody's like, yo, you should come. Wound up doing that.
But when you went to internship there, what exactly were you supposed to go for?
Well, everybody comes up and you wind up in promotions. You know what I mean?
That's where you were.
But while I was there, I was learning how to work the boards. I was learning how to do different things. So then I got into programming and then wound up doing another internship, got into programming. Normally you do your internship, it's over. But I was, I knew all the right people. And even when I was in college, I was throwing parties. So anybody that went to SUNY or Westbury with me, they'll tell you. There's I was president of student body. I was throwing parties. I utilized the college's resources to help do the shit I wanted to do. So, for example, I would throw a party at, like, we would have, we had, I did this thing with 702. I had a fellas night and a ladies night. So fellas were free. You know how ladies are always free? They get into this. You know?
Yeah.
I said, nah, let's do a fellas night. Ladies got to pay. Fellas, no line. They go straight in. They was like, oh, you crazy. Nobody's going to go to that shit. Women around the fucking corner.
Really?
So we did it at the campus, and then I
We're not
booked the
afraid
club.
to pay.
Yeah, I booked a club called Jam Rock.
And
then I provided a charter bus, free transportation. I paid for it. Got the school to okay it. Because my sell to them was that kids are going to get drunk. They're going to need ways back home. You're going to have people trying to sneak on campus, so let's provide them transportation. I'll pay for it. I'll even employ some of the public safety agents to work on the bus, the people that work for them.
You're always looking after someone's safety.
Yeah.
Every time you throw a party, you always make sure that they
I was always big about safety, but also, it's a dope way to make money. So I did that. So we flew 702 in. The college paid for all of that shit. The whole thing. They was already here. So in my mind, I'm like, all I got to do is offer them a little bit more money. What are you going to do? If you're an artist and you're already in town, you book for one thing and I say, come fuck with me on this. I just put bread in your pocket for this.
Right.
Now you got to look out for me on a number for this. They came and, they were supposed to just do a walkthrough. They got on stage and they performed. And I started doing that shit with Clue. I knew Kid Capri. I knew SNS, Biz, everybody. So people that they couldn't get to, I was able to get to with no problem. So, and then, people, the haters and all that shit, but I ain't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And because of that, when I got to the radio station, I knew so many people. Like me, Coco Chanel was very tight. Moni was very tight. I used to bring Angie up. So it was like I knew them already. So it was just easy. Even though they weren't at Power, Moni was at Power. So she got me up there. She was like, yeah. Darren Pfeffer, big shout out to him. He was the he was the promotions director.
That's right. You got Coco Chanel, my first magazine issue.
Yeah, that's my girl.
DJ whatever.
Yeah. And then, just everybody, I just knew people.
Right.
And I always did good business. And because I did good business, people fuck with me. I'm not the nigga that you had to worry about whether you was going to get your money. And to this day, even if I do something, nobody has to worry about that. If I throw an event and it's empty, which knock on wood never is, everybody's envelope is filled because it's not the responsibility of the DJ, the security, anybody else to fill the room. That was my responsibility. So I don't believe in making excuses when you're supposed to pay people. And that's always been my practice. So, I'll have a bunch of haters, but and the good thing is that if I'm a certain part of the character, like you know me, so they say, oh, I did this thing when I met and he took my money. You could absolutely bet your life that I didn't do that because you know me. It just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Because I'm blessed with certain things, and even if I wasn't, it's just not in my practice to be deceiving when it comes to business. I tell you what it is, and this is what it is. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about Power is Industry. You started that how long ago, and why you started it?
So Power's Industry is 21 years old. It is a showcase for unsigned artists. A lot of major record execs, different celebrities have come. If you see my IG at Power's Industry, I'm not paying nobody to say shit. Everybody has come. 80% of them have attended or participated. Fresher, Jada, everybody. And I designed the platform. Let me tell you what happened. When I was doing my internship at Power, when you're in the truck and you're driving around, you got artists just giving you fucking music. At the time, it was CDs.
Right.
So they seeing me and they just flooded me with fucking CDs. Yo, take this. And I don't know how to tell somebody, like, no, I can't take your fucking music and just walk up to the DJs and be like, yo, spin back, R.I.P. him. I need you to play this shit and listen to this. Because they would automatically be like, yo, can you get rid of this nigga?
Right.
Like, every time I come to the station, he's like giving me music.
Right.
So I felt bad. So I woke up one morning and my whole dresser was filled with CDs. So I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, all these people give, but I'm telling them as they give it to me, I can't get, nah, but you up there, fam, just, and it makes sense. Like, just maybe they get lucky because I'm closer than they would be to the DJs or anybody else. So I said, so Ed, Kurt, I'm talking to all of them, Chubb Rock, you know, all of them.
Shut up.
And they like, yo, why don't you just do a showcase? And then I was like, it's like, we'll go. You know everybody. And then I'm like, yeah, I can't just do a showcase. But I didn't really know how to do them art. Shout out to Maria Davis.
Mm-hmm.
She was the first one I ever seen
Right.
do that shit. So I always pay homage to the stuff that she does. And I watched her shit was bananas when she was doing it. So what I did was I went and I looked at one. I went to this place called The Pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to name the promoters, but I will name this kid. He was there, DJ Absolute. I think he was with Hot 97 at the time. I'm not saying he was responsible for the event or whatever, but I got there and fucking my cousin walks over to me and he says, yo, thanks for coming and all that. I appreciate the support. And I'm looking at him like, and then I realize he's performing. He's thinking I'm there to see him. But I'm not. I'm just there. I didn't even know he's fucking
Right.
performing. You know somebody, you performing me? I got you. I
Yeah.
don't know he's fucking performing, but he just happens to be performing.
Uh-huh.
So he's looking at me, and I don't have the heart to tell him I'm not here to
Yeah,
see you.
right.
I'm here to check it. I'm like, yeah, you know, I love you. so I hit him with that, man. One of my few times I was gonna be deceitful about the whole shit, right? So I'm there, and I wanted to look at how a showcase actually runs. The sound was horrible, and then I asked my cousin, I said, so how much you pay to be in the show? He was like, yeah, I paid $450.
Wow.
And I was like, damn. Oh, you paid $450? And what are you supposed to get? And he said, well, I paid $450 and might get my music on there. And I'm like, might get your music on there. We in this hole in the wall. And then I'm seeing people who are supposed to be judging, but they no longer work. And I know they no longer work at certain labels, but they promoting them. The promoter is pushing them like they still
Like they
work
did.
there. And they could do, and even if they don't, they should have had enough connection where they could have, but they don't.
Right.
But I don't want to say shit. And then he's like, oh, power, you don't do that. I say, yo, I'm just here. He's like, nah, I just want to shut you. I said, nah, because then I become part of it.
Right.
You understand? So I don't become part of that shit.
Right.
So the sound's not right. They got to sell all these tickets and shit. So what I did was I looked at that and I said, I'm going to design a show that's affordable for artists. The reality is that everything you have to pay for.
Right.
You know, and I tell artists, I'll hear artists be like, well, I don't pay for shows. And I say, all right, so let's talk business, right? Because it's a business. The reason, he's like, yeah, but other people, I get paid for shows. And a lot of times they lying when they tell you that shit. Niggas ain't paying you.
Right.
And if they are paying you, it's because maybe you sing at weddings or you do shit like that. I
Right.
get that,
Right.
But people aren't paying you to perform unless you have this phenomenal following. And most of the artists don't. So you have to look at it from a business perspective. If you have to pay to be in a show, it should be a fair price. It shouldn't be something ridiculous, right? I've always made practice of that. Like my show is like $115. That covers your 7-minute set and your drink ticket for the night. Guests are $30 per person and they get a drink ticket.
Right.
What people have to begin to realize is that the place costs money. The sound people cost money. The security costs money. The bartenders cost money. The cleanup crew costs money. So you expect someone to pay for all of that, and then
Yeah,
you expect me to bring the VPs and the
Right.
producers and all that and let you come and rock for
Right.
free.
Right.
And you don't bring nobody because you
Right.
don't have a following.
Right.
Even if you bring up 4 or 5 people, I tell people, I say, you know what you should do? You should do your own show.
Right.
If you got it like that, you should do your own show.
Right.
You should do your own show. And when you tell them that and they got to do it, they realize how hard it is. And then all those people that tell them, yo, I fuck with you, son, I'll be there, they don't come. So, you got to be realistic, right? You spend your money on stupid as shit. So I found the price that makes sense. You know what I mean? If you don't have it, you don't have it. That's fine. You just don't have it. When you do, you come. But don't sit and tell me. And I don't get it too much with me no more. I hear all the other promoter guys, because I'm not a promoter, dude. You know that already. I do all the celebrity interviews. All the 105. I don't, you know what I mean? But that's my baby. Like Envy has his car shows
Right.
and all that. Everybody has their baby.
Right.
I believe in unsigned artists.
So what's that
You know what I mean?
your showcase different, say yours aside from everyone else, why you've been doing it for 21 years consistently and it's always packed. You have like maybe 30 artists performing, 35 artists performing, and you always book 2 months, 3 months in advance. What makes yours different from everyone else? Because I go to other showcases, they be having like 15 artists.
Because it's up front. They know, here's the thing. when you do something for so long, if you're doing something that's right, then people are gonna. Every artist knows 10 other artists. So they're like, yo, you gotta fuck with this. This shit is dope. Blah 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 blah. The platform is right. It's not. You'll get some salty artists when they don't get selected by maybe like a VP. And when I say selected, we're not standing there. You won first place. You won second place. They're there to see talent. The difference with my show is my people stay from beginning to end. Because the people that are involved in my show are family.
And what type of people? People in the industry?
Yeah. So D, Will, whatever, Choice, for Sean, Rap at Republic. I have a core certain group that I fuck with, and that's it. Because it's not a money grab for them. With me, they're there.
So let me ask you a question. Has anyone ever been signed to or picked up by any of your
So I don't like
guests?
to do that, right? Because I don't want to take credit because you did my show. Now, other people do that. I've seen promoters do that shit where they go, oh, he was in my... And they make it seem like because they did their show. My job is just to give you a platform, to put you in front of people who could actually help you and do something with you. Now, it's up to you to sell yourself to them. If you weren't unsuccessful at that point in doing so, then you keep working. The one thing that's done is input is given to you regards to what they're looking for. Does it mean that they're right? Doesn't necessarily mean that, because we know that Diddy passed on 50 and X. They became iconic. He had no idea that they were going to become who they became, but he had a different vision on stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So my show, and that's why people fuck with it. That's why the celebrities will endorse it. When you go on my IG, you don't see me in the street asking motherfuckers for jobs. I'm only in 1 or 2 places. And they come, they do the drop because they know it's a real thing. And they'll pop out to it. They'll actually come and see it and enjoy it because they know it's real. You know what I mean? As opposed to the other promoters out there who do all that funny shit, $400, $500, promising artists. I don't do that shit where I take money and then go to the DJs and be like, yo, play this record. If niggas want to play your shit, they'll play it. If they don't, they don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't, and I get it. There are DJs that do that. And I don't knock it if that's how they move in it. They got to eat and do what they got to do. But I just don't entertain that. And anybody know me, know I don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
So a lot of people know you in the industry, but they don't know that you also are a teacher, right?
Well, I work in education too.
Okay.
I work with the administration, so a little more than a teacher. You know what I mean? I also work with programs, 16 to 24-year-olds, and we just had a situation where one of the programs was shut down, so we're fighting right now with City Hall to open it. It's based in Queensbridge, and the focus is to deal with young men and women who are at risk, both preventative and both on probation. Sessions are held with them Tuesdays and Thursdays. When we talk to them, we're cooking with them, we're talking to them. Big shout out to Roxanne Shantae, big advocate, big supporters like my sister comes out. We were recently on Cheryl Wells' show talking about the cuts. And I'm really disappointed with the mayor and the person that he appointed, the new commissioner for probation. It's
Are they going to
shut
it down? Are they going to shut it down?
Well, she has already stopped funding, but we've been advocating to other funders. I don't think that the program should have been overseen by probation. This woman came in, never saw any of the programs, decided that she wanted to shut it down. And one of the issues was when she did it on a Thursday at like 8:20 p.m. at night, and said the program will no longer be funded. And you have to close it in 6 days.
Yeah, wow.
You don't do that when you're dealing with young people because it took a lot of convincing to be part of. And the unique thing about Next Steps is that it is in all the nicer housing projects throughout the city. It's about 15, not every one of them, but some that are considered very dangerous. You know what I mean? You got Queensbridge, the largest housing project in the country. 96 buildings. There's no project bigger than that in the country. Not LA, not any place. It's inundated with drugs, violence, and all that. So you're putting a lot of supportive things out there to try to work with these young people. And she just comes out of nowhere and shuts it down with no plan what to do with those young people. She's talking about programs that have no relevance to them. You know what I mean? She's just like spitballing and throwing stuff. And it was just really foul. And I have to hold a person accountable for appointing her. You know, I just feel like when it comes to the mayor, I voted for him, so I feel kind of bad that I did, because now I'm starting to see that he's just looking out for all his people, which is nothing wrong with that, because politicians have been doing that for years. But there's certain people you don't put in certain positions. You don't put a person like that in that kind of position that spits in the face of at-risk youth. And the program she was saying was like Girl Code, Girl Talk, which is a good program. Any program I mentioned, anything about our young people is dope, but it's for 13 to 16 years. You know what I mean? 17-year-olds. And this program goes 16 to 24. So it's not built for those kids that are in that program. And she knew that. But it was a program she started. So this is her way of pushing it. This is also the program that she brought Cardi B to talk to them, and created a big stir with the NYPD. And that's why she no longer works in that capacity. And I could be honest, because I ain't running for office.
Right.
Like,
What do you think will happen to these young adults if we get closed down?
Well, they're going to be out in the street. And she's saying, oh, you can go to this program, that program, programs that they can't become. They never went to, first of all, a lot of those programs that are funded by the NYPD or run by the NYPD, let's be real. We know that the streets, they don't really rock with the cops like that. You know, and there's some good cops. It's not bad cops. Every cop ain't bad out there. But just the nature of it and what it is. And she knew that, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's almost like she wants us to send these kids back into the street so that they can get in trouble and keep feeding the system. Because that's what she is. She's a cop. She's not a person. She's not an activist. She's not about our people. She doesn't do anything for our people. And he put her there because they had nowhere else to put this lady. She's been booted around through the NYPD so much, she can't even hold the position.
So where does it stand? Like, with pending, you guys in court? Is it?
No, it's not in court. It's just finding another funder. And we had a meeting with the deputy mayor's office to explain, you know, how things went and how she handles stuff. So it's still a possibility. They have the deputy mayor and the mayor have the authority to come tell her, put that back there.
So how much time you guys have? When they're going to decide? And when are they going to decide?
Technically, the program is shut, but the areas are we're still running. You know what I mean? We're running on fumes. And the money that was given was $2.5 million. And she tried to say, oh, we're not giving. That's not a lot of money to run 15 programs throughout the city. You're talking about staffing mentors, the kids get $15 stipends for participating in a group. Do you really think they're there for the $15? No. Absolutely not. They were there because of the comfort, the things they were offered, the service, 24-hour access that they had to their mentors. If they're having an issue at 6 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 12 in the morning,
call someone. Yeah.
People in probation ain't picking up them calls.
Yeah.
She's already, you know what she did? She's actually arming probation officers to walk around. They were never armed. Now you got them walking up into stuff with guns. So how you think that looks? That's her position on stuff. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Good luck with that. I hope you guys get the funding and everything else. But before we close out, I want to ask you three. I want to know how well you know your culture. Okay? I want to know three.
Which one?
Three.
Which one? Which
I'm
one?
gonna tell you right now. Give me three famous words Dominicans are known for.
Three words that they say?
Three famous words.
Que lo que?
See? You know. What else?
Yeah. Oye, loco.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Ready?
Oh, wait. I got one. Ya se vaina.
Right? That one, yes. What does that mean?
What? Ya se vaina? I'll just leave that shit.
Yeah.
That's
And there's another one called ching. Un ching. Everything, yeah.
But I think Puerto Rican said that shit too. Just a little bit.
No, but this is what the famous word, the Dominican famous words are. Que lo que, what is it? Que lo que?
Que lo que.
Which means what again?
What
do you mean? What's up?
Yeah. Que lo que.
You say that often?
I don't say none of that shit. I know how to say it.
Why?
Because it's not something I say. But it doesn't mean that I have to run up on a guy that's Dominican. I might fuck around with some people and say it, but my Spanish was learned because I was selling drugs.
Okay.
You know, I got another interesting story. Back in the days, the Washington Heights field, they used to sell nothing but weight all through Washington Heights. So the Dominican dudes would just stand out there.
Right.
And when you wanted to get weight, if you was black or whatever, anybody, you had to go. They rented a lot of apartments and they were doing this shit out of there till they started getting cracked down and the cops run. So one time I'm in a spot I'm leaving. We're going to re-up. Re-up means we're going to get more drugs because we done sold out. So now we're going to get more weight because most of us don't know how to cook shit. So you had to get it from the Dominican niggas. And then even then, you got to find out which ones actually had a good shit. So we in a spot, and I guess they were going to shut down the spot. So everybody in there just was black. And the dude told them in Spanish, said, yo, lock the doors. We're getting ready to rob everybody in here.
Oh, wow.
And you know what I mean? And the black motherfuckers just standing around now, they just wait, yo, come on, nigga, I gotta get up out of here. I gotta get, they in there heavy, jeweled out and all that shit. So I told the dude in Spanish, I said, pretty much that, si tú no de las otros que se van de aquí, y deme mi cosa, va a decir a todo el mundo aquí lo que tú vas a hacer. Yo tengo mi pistola, tiene la pistola de él, yo no sé, a mí no... Yo no conozco nadie aquí. Deme mi cosa. Deje que mi hermano que se van de aquí y tú haces lo que tú vas a hacer. Because he didn't realize that I spoke Spanish. I had the flat top on. So he didn't know. So he's looking at me.
Puerto Rican
So
right
he
there.
said, yeah. So he looked at me and he's like, all right, listen. And they gave me some extra shit, right? And he said, man. And I got out of there. Now I felt bad for everybody who got robbed, but that ain't my fault. I don't know the niggas. I got to get me and my man out of here. My man is like, yo, why they giving us all? And he's being stupid, asking questions like, yo, this is too much. I'm like, no, it's not too much, nigga. Shut the fuck up and let's go. So we get out of there, and whatever happened, happened,
So what is another national dish of Dominican?
National dish?
Yep.
Mofongo?
Mofongo is one. What else?
I don't know. Everybody eats rice and beans.
Mango.
Mango, yeah. Mango. Yeah.
And bandera dominicana.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but...
So it's white rice, red beans, all type of different meat and salad. But you know why they call it bandera dominicana, right?
Oh, well, the other thing they call it con, right? They say...
Yes, that's the...
But Puerto Ricans call it pegao.
Right.
See, look, I know my shit. See, look.
But wait, why do they call it bandera dominicana?
I don't know. I don't even know. I didn't even know that that's what they call it.
Because it's the same color as the flag, as your flag.
Oh, okay, so I didn't know that shit. Remember, it's a part. I don't have the full flag.
Okay.
I got a flag that's stitched together.
Okay. And what's the favorite drink that they know
Brugal?
for? Brugal. What else? There's one more.
There's Brugal.
Brugal?
Presidente?
No.
What you talking about?
Mama Juana, right?
Mama Juana, yeah.
There you go.
But that Mama Juana shit ain't as popular as Brugal and Presidente. Not as Coronas, but those are the two, like, everybody knows.
Presidente is from DR, that's right.
Yes, it's the DR shit
it's
right
a beer,
there.
It's a beer.
It's a beer.
Okay.
The liquor is Brugal, that shit could...
Okay,
like,
a little bit about your culture. Right. Okay, well, we have to go now. Time is running out. But music. What is the famous music from Dominican Republic?
Could be merengue, could be bachata.
Yes. You still right
Puerto
about
Ricans and
that.
salsa.
Yep. And tell me one fact about Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic?
Yeah, one fact about it.
One fact about Dominican Republic. One of the things is they're divided. Huh?
Sports.
What, baseball?
Yes.
Yeah. Baseball.
Why is that?
I don't know if that's a Latino thing. Puerto Rico's the same shit.
No, but baseball is the most popular sport than they are.
I think it's more of a Latino thing.
You think
baseball,
so?
yeah. I think it's more of a Latino. Think about that. Puerto Rico's the same thing.
There's a lot of great baseball players that are from Santo Domingo.
They are.
Yeah.
There was some that came from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Roberto Clemente, right?
Yes. Okay, we gotta go. Thank you so much.
You mad because I know the fucking answers. See, you thought you were gonna have me and I was gonna know shit, huh?
Thanks for being here, Café con Lourdes. Give us an inspiring ending quote in Spanish.
In Spanish?
Yes.
I ain't do that in Spanish.
No?
I'm going in Spanish. I never proclaimed any of that. You know what I mean?
All right, give me that in English. Let's go. Let's close it.
Attitudes are positive when emotions are under control.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
different.
you like that,
You
see?
know, I do it right.
It's already copywritten, player. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much,
Ching, ching.
man, for being here. I really appreciate you.
No problem, man.
Can we close out? Thank you.